Hello, children. Welcome again to Sunday School. This time we're going to look at the next generation of Jacob's children, who had by now mostly grown up, except for Joseph and Benjamin, Rachel's children. Jacob lived in the land of Canaan, where his father had lived. When Joseph was a young boy, 17 years old, the brothers were grown-up men. They were shepherds pasturing their father's flocks. Often they had to travel about to find enough grass for the flocks. Sometimes Joseph went with them. Jacob loved Joseph more than all his other children because he was the son of Rachel. He gave Joseph a coat of many beautiful colors. Probably it was of silk cloth, skillfully embroidered. When the other brothers saw that their father loved Joseph more than them, they were jealous. They hated Joseph and could not speak kindly to him. Once Joseph dreamed a strange dream, which he told to his brothers. He dreamed that they were in the field, binding the grain into bundles, and his sheaf stood up, while all the rest of the sheaves came and bowed down to his. His brothers were very angry when they heard him say this. They said, "Indeed, do you think that this dream means that you are going to rule over us?" They hated him still more because of the dream. Joseph dreamed another time. Again he told the dream to his brothers and his father. This time he said, "I dreamed that I saw the sun and the moon and 11 stars, and they all came and bowed down to me." In those days, dreams often told what would happen in the future. The brothers became still more jealous, but Jacob began to wonder what his son's strange dreams might mean. Joseph's wonderful dreams really did mean something. They came true many years later. But first, many strange things happened to him. Soon after the dreams, Joseph's brothers went to pasture their flocks in Shechem, a place quite a long way from Jacob's home. After they had been there for some time, their father Jacob wanted to know how they were getting along. So he told Joseph to go and see if they were well, and then to come back and tell his father all that he had found out. When Joseph came to Shechem, he looked around for his brothers. There was no sign of them. At last a man found him wandering in the field and asked him, "What are you looking for?" "I'm looking for my brothers," said Joseph. "Can you tell me where to find them?" "They were here," said the man, "but they have gone away, for I heard them say, 'Let us go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went to Dothan. At last he found his brothers there. They saw him coming across the fields while he was still far away, and they made a wicked plan. They said to each other, "Here comes this dreamer. Let us kill him and cast his body into some dark hole. Then we shall see what will become of his dreams. We'll tell our father that a wild beast has eaten him." Reuben, the oldest brother, was not so wicked and cruel as the others. He said, "Let us not kill him. Let us cast him into this dark hole instead of shedding his blood." Reuben planned to take Joseph out of the pit when the others were not around and take him back to his father. When Joseph came near, they pounced upon the poor boy and took off his beautiful coat of many colors. Then they let him down into an empty pit from which he could not get out. Poor Joseph was badly frightened in this dark hole. He cried out, begging them to take him up. But the wicked brothers left him down in the hole. They sat down to eat their dinner, just as if their brother were not crying and calling to them. While they were eating their meal, they saw a cloud of dust in the distance. Pretty soon they could see that it was a group of camels and people. The people were Ishmaelites on their way to Egypt. Their camels were loaded with spices, balm, and myrrh, which they were going to sell in Egypt. Judah, one of the brothers, said to the others, "What good will it do us to kill our brother? Let us sell him to these Ishmaelites. After all, he is our brother." The rest thought that this would be a good way to get rid of Joseph. They were sure that if they sold him to these men, who were going far away, he would never bother them again. By the time they had agreed to sell him, the Ishmaelites were near. The brothers called to them to stop, because they had a young boy whom they wanted to sell as a slave. That did not seem strange to the Ishmaelites, for it was the custom to buy and sell slaves. 20 pieces of silver was the price the Ishmaelites paid for Joseph. His brothers went to the dark hole and drew the boy up. Joseph thought at first that they were going to let him free. How bitterly disappointed he must have been when he found that he was to be sold as a slave. In vain he begged them to let him go home to his father. He was to be taken down to faraway Egypt, where he would probably never see his dear father again. His brothers put him on one of the camels, and the Ishmaelites went on their journey, carrying him farther and farther away from home. Reuben, the oldest brother, was not with the others when Joseph was sold. He came back, intending to take Joseph out of the hole secretly and send him back to his father. When he could not find Joseph, he thought that his brothers had killed him. He tore his clothes, as people did in those days when they felt very sad. And he cried out, "The child is dead, and what shall I do?" He knew that his father would hold him responsible, because he was the oldest. Well, the brothers killed a goat and dipped Joseph's coat of many colors in the blood. When they reached home, they took the bloody coat to their father, and they lied. "We found this coat. Look and see whether it is your son's." Jacob knew that it was Joseph's coat. He cried out very sorrowfully, "It is my son's coat. Some wild animal must have eaten him. Joseph is without doubt torn in pieces." Jacob tore his clothes and put sackcloth on his body. He mourned for Joseph so long that his sons and daughters began to fear that he would never get over it. They tried to comfort him, but it was of no use. He said, "I will go down into the grave to my son, mourning." The wicked brothers added to their sin by not telling the truth to their poor old father. They let him believe that Joseph had really been torn to pieces by some wild beast. This was just as bad as telling a lie. Although their father could not know how wicked his sons were, God knew all about it. He punished them in later years for their sins. Well, that's it for this time. We'll hear next time what happened to Joseph when he got to Egypt. Bye for now.